going to an Italian variety was simply because we were looking for a white wine that could do a sweet dessert wine style, or it could make a nice fruity, aromatic, yet acidic wine. And that was different than Viognier. So the Malvasia fit the bill beautifully. And I think we're one of the few vineyards in this county that has it. There's a ton in Monterey.
Is that the grape that Chad's using to blend with his
He
syrup?
did a co-fermentation one year, yeah.
He's doing it again, he said.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff, yeah.
But it's a fun grape, and it's we sell it all to Palmina, and they do both a Vinsanto as well as a just a normal white wine, table wine.
Cool.
So excellent winemaker, Steve Clifton. So what we did also is when you build a vineyard, you got all your layouts and stuff like that, and then it's always hard to remember what blocks you want to call them by numbers and stuff like that. So we kind of came up with fanciful names, and the reason I'm telling you this story is because the cutest name we have for the Malvasia is, if you look at it from an aerial photograph, it kind of looks like a boot, and being an Italian variety, Little Italy sounded perfect, you know. This block here we call it the Old Corral. At the end of that block there's an old abandoned corral where they actually used to gather up the cows and brand them. So this block here we call it Long Shadow. My father named this one. If you stand here in the afternoon and look at these oak trees, they actually cast a shadow on the other side of the hill. This is the way the sun and the angle.
Cool.
So it really has cast a long shadow. He always talked about a John Wayne movie, I think it says stand tall, cast a long shadow. And we're going to walk up this way. We're going to pass one block called Ventoux Ridge. That's where all our Grenache is planted. And then the block up you see over here underneath the house, we call that the La Paloma. It's 7 feet of beach sand. And it's very much different kind of little zone up there. And my parents used to go to a beach in France called La Paloma. So when it's beach sand, beach, perfect. Yeah, the beauty. Well, yeah, that we used to. We fenced everything now. The beauty is actually was on your right-hand side when you came in. We call that La Colline. It's kind of a little rolling hill. You guys can't see there's a block that's kind of behind these you can see like deviation and then there's just like a couple plants. That's our little piece of Mourvedre, and we named that one affectionately Budget Buster because it has the shortest rows and the most end posts of the entire vineyard. So.
Can you hold that for me?
So, within a large sort of, block, we have all these little subdivisions. So, what are all the winemakers that get certain wines? Well, we have, I think we have 21 different wines. I've got home winemakers that buy half a ton, all the way up to Babcock, Bay. Depends, now we're kind of nestled in with a lot of small winemakers, so Mike Seguin, most of the people you're going to meet today, Mike Seguin, Mark Horvath, Kenneth Crawford, Matisse Drew.
Is he still buying? Is he gonna buy now that he's moved, or is he?
Yeah, we actually just talked.
Is he gonna keep making your Syrah?
He's trying to.
I hope so.
Yeah. Benjamin Silver. Gee, the list goes on. Everybody who does a lot of small production. We actually kind of got away from a lot of large ones because, as I said, I don't want to see my fruit go into a Santa Barbara Syrah if I can help it. This right here is our Grenache block. We call it Ventoux Ridge because Grenache, a lot of it 100% is grown in the Ventoux region. And also this is our windiest block, Ventoux, windy in French. So Ventoux Ridge.
And that's the hint.
Yeah. And we have 4 different clones of Grenache here. We have 362, our own clone, 136 and 513. A little bit about our own clone. It's actually selected from a vineyard in the Ventoux region, but that's all I'm going to say, because I can't tell you how it got here. So. But let's just say we go skiing a couple of times in France.
Get out the maps.
Yeah. But basically, the Grenache has sort of become like you know, a hot, I think it's a hot wine right now. Our focus has always been Syrah, but our Grenaches are taking off really well too. One of the reasons the Larner clone does so well is it has a little bit darker color than the other ones that you'll find, the other clones of Grenache. But part of that is also simply because of the fact that a lot of new clones became available. They used to be always the standard Davis Grenache Clone 3, which honestly is pink. You know, when you come to harvest, it's pink, and it's really hard to get color out of it. NTAV made contracts with the American nurseries, and they started bringing in a lot of new French clones. And when we picked our clonal selection, it came from the NTAV selection. When we planted this, we sat down with Jeff Newton and a lot of winemakers and tried to figure out what was the best clone for the site, and came to the conclusion that there really isn't. What it is basically you have to find, because it's still sort of a new topic with these clones. So basically what we were looking at is, you know, okay, well, why don't we narrow it down to what's the best in Australia, what's the best in America, and what's the best in France. At least we'll cover our grounds on that. Because the French, you know, French were one of the countries that actually has an organization that puts out a book that tells you what the clones are, how they do wine-wise. It's an NTAV book, and it's great. It's